New York, London, Australia responded. In fact, to the point where the developer at that time was saying he was trying to go on holiday or something with his family in New York. And somebody, I think from the New York Times, was phoning him for a comment. And he was so annoyed that he couldn't in peace go somewhere because of the broad reach of that particular campaign. And that was effective because we utilized everyone's skills.
So that speaks to the power of people and coming together in communities. And, you know, Book have a special place of heritage and significance for everybody, including the Muslim community, and that sense of community and place that you speak about, and you actually living there, fortunate to be part of that. And then also how you bridge that sense of community with the other civic associations in your area. The city has been very draconian. The DA has been very draconian in terms of the laws that they put out. They've criminalized homeless people. So if you're homeless and staying on the streets, they fine you. They've also put the noise pollution, which is making it a finable offense if you call to pray, the church bells ringing. So clearly people are not happy with those things. What will you do as a councillor should they elect you? Without being populist, will you definitely scrap that because it's clearly unconstitutional by law?
Yeah. Well, if it's in my power to scrap it, definitely. What I would do is, and it comes back to what I've said earlier about information and knowledge. I have found throughout my work as a community activist that if you have the knowledge and the information, you have power, because then you can unpack these kind of bylaws, you can unpack the constitution, and you can claim your power back, you can reclaim your agency. You see, the thing is that with this noise pollution, it's an old bylaw, it's not a new bylaw. They've just left it in. So let's be clear, this bylaw existed before. They've just amended the bylaw and added some other stuff. But with regards to noise pollution or noise nuisance, that's always been there. And they're very selective as to who they target with regards to it. I told the story earlier on. They target the mosque, and they'll send 2 police vans with regards to a complaint received. When a business in Boerkaap and a resident in Boerkaap complains about a noise that the business makes, they tell that person to do an affidavit, fill in the necessary forms, they will send somebody out. It takes a whole month. I mean, the person had even gone to court as such to enforce that particular bylaw. So why is it that when it's the adhan, 2 police vans can come? But when a resident complains about a business making a noise, then fill in the forms, follow the process. But you know what the thing is? It's about informing our people what is that process and keeping the city to account. So if it's within my power, I would definitely support anyone and any institution that will help us fight that bylaw, because I strongly believe it is unconstitutional. It does not embody the spirit of the Constitution, where everybody is entitled to practice their religion, their culture and traditions without fear. And with regard to the homeless, it's definitely not a crime to be a homeless or to be poor. The Boerkaap people will tell you stories where they will say that for them, they already know the Berges. I mean, they grew up with them, and they will say, oh no, we know so-and-so, Auntie Sophie, and that, she always sleeps on our stoop. We know her, she's going to come for food, she's going to come and do this, and she's going to say she's going to clean the garden or whatever. So there's also that relationship that has been built up over years and generations with the homeless community. So to criminalize that, I mean, there's just no words. And it's time that somebody challenges the city on their bylaws. There are many of them that I truly believe is unconstitutional. And if it's within my power to find the necessary advocates and legal minds to challenge it, I definitely will.
You speak about the generosity of the spirit and the soul, and you guys as the civic have been really feeding, and that's also the nature and the culture of our people there in Boerkaap, that we share, we love, we care without unconditionally. So what do you tell someone who haven't really experienced that from the other communities? What do you tell them that hasn't experienced that ANC family of yes, we are robust, we fight, we are broad church, we celebrate our differences. And yes, people only focus on the swart gevaar and the bad things the ANC has done. But actually, there's good people like yourself and me and many others that actually are here for transformation, for change, for development. What do you say to someone who has not yet experienced the good ANC and wanting them to be part of this journey with you in development in the as a city resident? What do you say to them?
What do I say to them? Welcome. Come in. Come inside. That's what all I can say. Come inside, welcome, and come and experience. Because it would be the same for me if I welcomed you into my home or welcome you into Buaka. The only way to experience the good is to be inside, to see it. Because I can tell you many things, but ultimately it's about your experience and how you feel about it. So, and that you can only do once you come inside or once you see what we've done. If you don't want to come in and you're hesitant, that's okay. Watch, observe, and then make a decision. Because I am confident that the record will show and reflect that there are good people, that we want the best for our communities. We want to empower and we want to build stronger, better communities together with everyone. And it's important sometimes that we disagree. We can't all agree. Imagine that meeting where everybody just says, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, really, that can be a bit boring as well.
Great stuff. So, look, I think I want to certainly appeal to all the city residents to give our comrade Jacky an opportunity, and also the ANC in that area. What we did this time around, we said that we want to focus on community grounded activists in that area, stand as the ANC and represent the new face, the one that the president was talking about, renewal, about hope. And yes, it's unheard of to talk about, and I want to come to this manifesto that we have, the pledges that the president is making. Have you thought about what level of commitment you've made? We said as the ANC, we want to do more, we want to do better, we want to build stronger communities, building our communities together. We want to deal with a whole range of issues. And you as that councillor and that public rep, what are the things that you want your city residents to know about your manifesto and the ANC's pledge or commitment?
I'm wholeheartedly in with regards to the commitment. There is no thought about it. To me, the ANC represents that. It represents community. It recommends, looks to me as power, sharing of knowledge, empowering people. Comes to mind, we always say amandla. It's power to the people. Amandla, Owetu, power to the people. And to me, that is the pledge. That is what it's about. Ultimately, we can come up with great names, great things, great sayings, but it's about power to the people. And that is what the ANC brings. It's always brought it, and it will continue to bring that. And I want to say, slightly off topic, but I wanted to make this analogy with regards to good people and the ANC, that I come from a sporting family. Sports was always a big thing in our family. And the other day, somebody asked, why are you wasting your time? Why are you doing this? You're better off being an independent. You might just love possibly getting more support if you were an independent. And I said, it's about a soccer team. Like we always say something about Bafana. But let's not use them as an example, but it's about soccer. I'm going to use soccer because I'm familiar with it.
Let's use the women team. They are much better and more successful.
No, let's not use them, because for the analogy to work, it has to be a team that doesn't play well. So okay, yeah. And the women's team are fantastic. So with regards to a soccer team, a coach has a team of 11 players, and he feels this team, but the players are not the best players. They play poorly. They lose every game. And then we complain and we say, oh, coach, I mean, really now, That guy doesn't even know how to be a goalie. What's with the striker? He's sleeping there in front. But the coach is turning to you and saying, well, I don't have anyone else to put on. There is nobody else. There are no good players. This is all I have. I can only put these people forward. So for me, stepping up and accepting to be a candidate, it's about that. Giving the coach new and better players to put on the field to change the game so we can at least win. So if
I love that analogy.
it's just I'm a
So
sporting
look,
fan
I
as
mean,
well.
if we can talk about the president as our coach, and we're getting rid of the bad players, and we're bringing new substitutes, super subs, impactful subs, and they are going to bring the change that the president is talking about. So I love that analogy. I mean, I also want to talk about the heritage and going back that when the national minister declared, I think it's 19 heritage sites in Buka. What did that symbolize for us? That about the importance of acknowledging Bukap's heritage as part of the significant South African heritage, our broad, our celebration of our diversity and affirmation of the people and the residents and the culture and love in Buka. I mean, how was that received by the residents of Buka?
When somebody affirms something that you believe and you've been saying for so long, it just gives you strength. It gives you the power to carry on. Because when that happened, it felt like for the longest time we've been saying it. It felt like we've been interviewed and we've gone to meetings and we've spoken from the rooftops, but nobody was listening. So when that happened, one, it was our voices were finally being heard. Two, that people understand why this is so important. And three, that it wasn't just important to us, it was important to everybody. And if we have to lose Buaka, we lose such a big part of the history of South Africa. And so for us, if you look at the photos and everything, you will see the people of Buaka welcome the national minister. In fact, they are, if the national minister comes, they're not even going to try and get a photo with me. They're going to be like, Jacky, we want a photo with the national minister. They might even ask me to take it.
And I saw how he loved the Kusistas and was just chatting with the community in that area.
Yeah.
So I think that is the type of stuff that we want to do for our communities. And also that's also a commitment of a pledge of listening to our people, and the ANC then saying, this is what our people want. And this is the type of servant leader that we want you to be in that area. Now we just need to convince people. Now we just need to convince the residents, the city residents, that you are that person. We have concrete examples. I want to conclude by wishing you really well, Jacky, and the team there in Buka. And just a final word from yourself. I mean, yes, you've got about 18 days left. And yes, it's going to be a big challenge to change minds and perception. But I mean, you're fighting a good fight. You're fighting and you're taking these issues to the community. What's your final message in the next 2-3 minutes to those that are not yet convinced, haven't been exposed to you? And how can they join you if they like what they hear? What is your programs? What are you going to do? So maybe in the next 2-3 minutes, just talk about what your campaign is and also a message to people that's undecided in the city.
Well, our campaign is about going to the people. So we've been going door to door, and we actually focused on the areas that is not work up. So we want people to see us. And we know it's sometimes uncomfortable. We are disrupting a narrative that at some places they feel we don't belong. So we are going to disrupt that. We are going to be there because we're all in this together. We truly are. And it's time people realize that us and them, there is no us and them. It's all us. And together we can truly work and build a city that is for everyone, where you can walk, from one place to the other, irrespective of time. People in Bo-Kaap used to walk from Long Market Street in Bo-Kaap all the way to District 6, because back in the day, that road led all the way to District 6. And of course, there's that historical relationship between the two areas. So we need to reestablish that we're in this together. We have this city that we share, which is beautiful. And it's for everyone. It truly is. And there's no reason to fear and almost buy into the us and them. It's all us. That's what it is. What we are doing is pamphleteering. And we're also putting up posters, because especially the posters, it is something that actually, I have to say, reminds me so much of the 1985s and 86 and 87. It feels like an activity on its own. I almost want to invite everybody, come, we're putting up posters. So we're doing
Please
that.
do.
We're putting up,
Please do.
Yeah, we're putting up posters today, tomorrow. We're also pamphleteering over the weekend. And then we're also supporting the anti-human trafficking walk in Langa on Sunday, because that is something that is quite important and that we do need to bring up. It happens in all of our communities. It's not necessarily something that people think it's a syndicate. Human trafficking takes various forms. So it is something that I feel that should be highlighted. So we'll be supporting that. And then there are a few other public meetings that is being prepared for Bo-Kaap itself, but we'll post it to social media.
Thank you very much, Comrade Jacky. And my last message to all Cape Townians, especially the city residents, whether you a student, whether you someone that's just transient, whether you in the Bo-Kaap or the Oranje Sig or Tamboerskloof or wherever, this is the ANC that wants all Cape Townians to feel that they are indeed Cape Townians. We are not wanting othering. We want to bring people together. And candidates like Jacky does represent that. It's about how we bring people together. And Jacky, I want to wish you all the success, all the well wishes. We are rooting for you. And we want to encourage everybody in the CBD to give our Comrade Jacky a chance. You are well loved, well respected as a community activist in your area. And I think once people get to know you and what you represent, they will be grateful to have someone like you in our council to represent our broad concerns. The city of Cape Town is a complex, beautiful place, and we must make it a home and a space and a place for all of us. So wish you well. Godspeed with your campaign, and thank you for being on the show. That was Know Your Candidate, and thank you everybody for tuning in. This will be live on all the social media. So Jacky, please share and like and subscribe and watch Jacky, and reach out to her if you are keen to be part of a campaign. We are doing really exciting stuff in the Bo-Kaap area. So thanks again, Jacky. Appreciate it.
Thank you.